Hi, it's Magnus again. I am on the floor here outside of the session rooms, and there's sessions going on. And I am going to talk now with Dan Rosanova from the Microsoft Core team, and we have something really, really cool to talk about. One of the newer services in the platform, very recently announced and all. We're going to talk about the grid. How you doing, man?
Great. How about you?
I'm perfectly fine. It's a good conference, and I'm enjoying myself a lot. Sun is shining, so it's really warm outside. So I'm happy to be inside.
Yeah, a little bit of change from where we're both from.
That's right. Okay, cool. So the grid. Tell people here what grid are we talking about?
Sure, Azure Event Grid. And Event Grid's whole idea is to bring reactive programming sort of models and substrate to the cloud, both for Azure itself and across cloud. To let you really tie together the different silos that are the services you're using with, so whether that's storage or functions or event hubs or compute itself, to be able to make these things work well together and play well together.
Right. Featured also in the keynote, I believe there was conversations about how now one of the big database, right? The Cosmos DB is now also reactive, or can whenever I change data in Cosmos, that can trigger into the event grid. Am I right?
So what they have now is a functions binding for Cosmos, which is but it's very similar to how Event Hubs works, because you're reading the whole change feed, so you're able to do like a whole stream process on it. We are actually working with the Cosmos team on getting individual events into a routable grid infrastructure.
So I was wrong there. Okay, so it's functions, but functions can go into the grid.
Functions can both be a producer for grid and a consumer. Okay, so you can have your functions react to different things happening in Azure, like VM created or user added or.
So let's walk through that. Let's put a scenario together, like something that goes from something happening to something reacting. What would that look like?
Sure. So a really simple scenario would be something like if people are creating storage accounts in your Azure subscription, and you want to make sure that they're encrypted. So you can just tell Event Grid, it's really telling Azure, notify me whenever someone creates a storage account. And you'll get the metadata about that storage account. Or you could say, notify me whenever someone adds a user to an Azure subscription. And then you can run a function there, or a logic app, or anything else you want.
To do some corporate standard
exactly.
Or,
to
notify.
Do whatever your next piece is. The sort of the three areas we see are definitely serverless. So this is really kind of bringing delegates to the cloud. And then enterprise integration, and so typical, upload this, do that type stuff, and then DevOps being the last one, which is kind of this idea of keep an eye on my infrastructure and my things and make sure they meet my policies.
Oh, that's really cool. And I don't know if there's a public timeline, but I'm going to say that I will expect everything else to sort of connect to the grid eventually as well in Azure, like other things, right?
Absolutely, and beyond Azure. We're actually already working with the Dynamics team, with Office Graph, with Active Directory itself.
Wow.
So and then outside of Microsoft too, we're already starting to work with other companies to be publishers for other cloud services, other cloud providers.
That's really cool. So architecture-wise, what we're talking about now is like event-based or event-driven architectures or something like that?
Absolutely. The same stuff we've been using in the UI paradigm for decades now. We're trying to bring really to distributed scale at the cloud level.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. That was great. Now we all know what the grid is in Azure. Thanks, man.
Thank you.